Hello and welcome back, Pathfinders. I am your host, Rick. This is the Mummy's Mask playthrough on the Find the Path podcast as we continue making our way through the first book of Mummy's Mask, The Half-Dead City, Jim Groves. Great book. Everybody having fun? We all good today?
I mean, I'm not really looking forward to the fact that my face is about to be eaten by scarabs, but...
You'll be fine. It's fine. It's all good here.
You say with the shield of protection from swarms.
Can I, jump into your square and,
We all hide behind Onuris.
One squeezes into one square.
I don't think that's how that works.
No. When last we left our heroes, they had continued their exploration now of the House of Panteru.
There was a wormy dog.
Yes, there was a horrible death dog they managed to fight. They also fought a couple of skeletons who appeared to have a very sad backstory.
Rick likes to make us feel things about the enemies we're killing.
But only after we've killed them. Then we get to feel that.
That's true. All of these scarabs are part of a peaceful scarab commune.
Well, then they shouldn't be attacking us.
But now you've invaded their scarab commune.
Well, I guess they're not too peaceful.
Maybe they're just trying to talk to us and none of us speak scarab.
Well, they probably talk with the little buzzing sound of the wings, kind of like crickets.
They talk with claws. So when you guys had continued your exploration, though, you had opened up this door to what you believe was possibly a granary of some form, where they would have stored grain down in a well to keep it dry and safe, and subsequently...
away from the sand.
As much as they can. The bottom of this well, however, was filled full of scarab beetles who were swarming their way up to kill all of you. And when we left off, I believe I was going to be getting initiative from our party. Let's cue up a little bit of... combat music going there.
Sagira is ready.
We're pretty ready.
Did you? Probably nothing, to be honest.
They might be big enough that we can squish them.
They are not.
Well, there went that.
Sagira is prepared to do nothing. I don't even have a torch.
Hey, at least we got to skip the first round where we ineffectively slash at it before going and grabbing torches.
I think you did 2 rounds last time. Speaking of Sagira.
21.
21 for Sagira Maibe.
I just thought I would be really, cool and get candle rods instead of torches. And that's not great.
Curse my use of glow sticks. Jordan?
Sudi has got a 17.
17. Rachel?
Sitra only has an 8.
Heather?
Onuris gets a 9.
9. So, combat breaks out. The Scarab Swarm gets a surprise attack round, since apparently no one noticed it quite in time. It uses that surprise attack round to climb halfway out of the pit it's in.
Oh boy.
Which brings us to round 1 of combat. Sagira Maibe has first initiative.
Is there a lid?
No. If there was, it was probably wooden, and much like many of the wooden things here has rotted away in the past 2,200
Weren't
and
there
I think
doors
50 years.
in front of us?
Yeah, they're stone.
Could we just close the door?
I mean, potentially, although it's not airtight and this is a swarm.
Oh, good point.
I sold my shield, or else that could maybe be a thing that I shoved on top of it. Let's see.
The hole in the ground is 8 feet across.
You're standing in front of Onuris and you know he has torches in his backpack.
Sudi also has torches.
But I have, it's easier for you to grab a torch out of your bag than for me to dig through your bag my entire turn.
Grab
Since
my
it's
lamp
not stored
from
on
me
you,
and-
you'd need to use a move action to take the backpack from him, and then you could do a second action to start digging through and then finish it up your next turn.
Yeah, it's 100% easier for
You would then need
Onuris.
to use
Or-
a separate action to retrieve your flint and steel, and then take a full round action.
I don't
to
have
light
flint
it.
and steel.
Does anybody have a torch out?
No, because
it's daytime.
Yeah, it's daytime. We haven't needed one yet.
Does my elemental assault actually damage these things?
Yeah, the fire damage they would do would actually damage them.
Well, then that's what I'm gonna do.
Or technically any elemental
They're still
damage that
halfway
you do
down
would
the
actually
well,
damage
though.
them.
They're not actually up yet.
Oh, they're not up yet?
No.
I mean, I've
They're
got my
50% of the
lamp
way
on
up,
my
though.
belt. You could grab my lamp and dump the oil on them.
Nah, Sagira's gonna say...
I was really hoping you're going to go for a one-liner.
Oh, no.
Bug off! And then pull it
I'm not doing anything dramatic right now. I was gonna say, let's just get out of here and close the door and buy ourselves a round or two.
Get out, close the door, put oil on the floor.
Yeah,
and
have
set
the
it on
chance
fire.
to... Sagira's gonna be like, and I'm gonna step out of here. I suggest you do the same. We can close the door and buy ourselves enough time to get some stuff lit. Run away. And Sagira runs behind Onuris.
So you flee 10 feet back. You still have a standard action if you'd like to do anything with it.
The only problem is I'm pretty sure this swarm goes before me.
Well, then they'll get to the top of the thing. I don't really have anything helpful. So I'm just gonna be here, ready for the next step.
Sudi.
Well,
Sudi gets his own combat music.
I have combat movies? It's like I'm in a book.
Because books have music.
Well, no, because they don't have movies. So like, you know.
It's like I'm in the play about myself.
Oh, I'm in a play about myself. That's a much better thing I could have done. Okay. So Sudi's going to grab a torch. Nobody else can light this, can they? You don't have spark or anything?
I have the opposite of spark, which is create water.
Sudi grabs flint and steel.
Alright, so your torches are held in your backpack?
Yeah.
No, it's a full round action to retrieve that, so you'll need to use an action your next turn to retrieve your flint and steel.
Yay!
So Sudi retrieves his torch.
Okay.
That would bring us to the Scarab Swarm. It climbs another 10 feet up to the top of the pit. It then double moves and swarms over the party.
Yay!
It will occupy all the squares that you guys are occupying. Provoking an attack of opportunity from Sudi and Sagira, which would hit them ineffectually and do nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
So then the swarms just kind of run over all of you and then eat.
That well that's empty. We fill it in water, and then we make them drown
Sagira takes
somehow.
2 points of damage. Sudi takes 6 points of damage.
Ow.
Sitra takes 2 points of damage. Onuris takes 1 point of damage. I will need a fortitude save from the party.
Oh, great.
I get a 9.
I get a 7.
Get an 8.
Onuris gets a 17.
There it is.
Somebody's gonna save. The rest of us are vomiting.
No, you guys are fine.
Well, I hope not, because then we're all dead.
Onuris.
Yeah, I activate my shield.
Very well. You would kick in your shield.
They need to make a
Looks will save.
DC 11.
DC 11 will save. Your saves aren't that great.
Wait, did I get to know anything about this?
Yeah, you could make a knowledge nature check if you so wish. They pass the save.
Crap.
I get a 21 on my knowledge nature.
Okay, so for your retroactive knowledge nature check, you would know that scarab beetles are indigenous to warm deserts, particularly those in the northwestern or northern portions of Garoon. They are small, usually carrion feeders. They very rarely swarm. You would know that some religious scholars theorize that scarabs are prone to swarming because they are drawn to the same malign energy that causes some undead to rise in Osirian, although most people regard this explanation as pure superstition. But it's believed that they really only swarm in vicinity of undead. More or less as like a pack tactic to kill undead, and then devour those bodies. You have 2 questions that you may ask pertaining towards the scarab swarm.
How fast does it move?
Scarabs are capable of moving as fast across the ground as a regular human. They are able to also climb and fly, although they fly rather clumsily.
Okay, well then, do they have any arch nemeses in the natural world?
That's a
Tons and tons of things eat scarabs, including if you brought your cat.
What about snakes? She did make friends
Ah,
with a
yes!
snake.
What about vipers?
I mean, they would probably eat a scarab. I don't think they'd approach 1,000 scarabs. But
How about some vultures?
I mean, the vultures, upon seeing the scarabs come flying out, would go, nope, and then go flying off, since they really can't get to that body anyway right now, so you're kind of blocking it in.
Sad. Okay.
So
do I
Onuris
get the
uses
rest
his
of my
shield.
turn?
You have move action remaining.
Can I start digging around in my bag?
Yes.
I'm gonna start getting a torch out.
Very well. You can start the action of getting a torch out. Sitra.
Okay. I'm going to unhook my lamp from my belt.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to yell at everybody to stand clear. And I'm going to ready so that when everybody moves out of the way, I'm going to open the oil container and I'm going to sprinkle it all over the scarabs.
Okay.
And by sprinkle, I mean soak.
So move action to retrieve that, standard action to, or readying an action to use your standard action.
Yes.
Bring us around to the top of the initiative, Sagira.
Okay. I'm gonna move out of the things,
Okay.
and then I'm going to swift action activate my elemental assault fire, I guess.
Very well.
And then I'm
Your
gonna
sword bursts into
swing
flames.
my sword down at these stupid scarabs.
First time the rest of the party's seen that.
Oh yeah, I can do this now.
I would just assume Sudi's seen it. at
I've
least
been able
once.
to do this the whole time.
Yeah, Sudi's probably seen it.
Yeah, you can't critical swarm, so...
That is true.
You did get an at 20?
No, I got a 19.
Oh, okay.
But I have a big throw range. Well, not big, but 19 is fine. That's like a 27.
A 27 will strike your target.
And the only damage that matters is the fire damage, right?
That is correct.
I do 6 points of fire damage.
Nice.
6 points, burning the swarm. So it would screech, some of them popping and dying under the flames.
A delicacy.
What a world. Sudi.
He's going to take a 5-foot step, mirroring Sagira out of the swarm. Full round action to grab flint and steel.
Very well. So move action to retrieve your flint and steel, and then you can start trying to spark off the torch.
Yeah, okay, we'll do that.
Alright, and that, I believe, would actually trigger Citra's readied action.
I'm still in the swarm.
No,
yeah,
yeah.
Well,
yours
you're just pouring it over one square. So you'd be pouring it over the square next to you.
Oh, that's
that
true,
Sudi
yeah.
just
Oh, I
vacated.
can only do one square?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Pouring it over that one square. I'm going to set that one square on fire.
It still somehow magically damages the whole swarm.
I don't think when you kill a swarm, you actually kill every little bug. I think you just kill enough that it dissipates.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'd be here forever.
So Citra sprinkles all of that out, which actually moves her in initiative order. Scarabs.
Yay. We've made it hard for them.
Yeah, that portion needs to stay where it is. So the segment of the scarab swarm that was swarming over Sagira swarms past and goes over Sudi, provoking attack of opportunity from Sudi.
Is
as
my
it
torch
enters your
actually
square.
lit?
No. So
Oh.
you kind of smash it a couple of times and stomp.
Yeah, I was going to say it doesn't really matter then.
It then swarms over the party, dealing 4 points of damage to Sudi, 1 point of damage to Citra, and 2 points of damage to Onuris as they continue biting viciously.
He activated his shield.
No, they made the will save.
They made the will save.
Oh.
Onuris, I need a fortitude save. And then it's your turn.
I get a 23 on my fortitude save.
All right.
I'm going to take a 5-foot step towards Sudi, so when he gets his torch lit, I can light mine
Okay.
off of Sudi's.
Come on, baby, light my fire.
I will point out that Sagira's blade is still burning.
I'm
Oh,
on
hey,
fire!
Yeah.
I'm right beside her too.
So 5 foot step, move
I didn't
action
realize that
to...
was still burning.
Maybe don't take the spot I was gonna be in.
How long does your thing last?
It lasts 2 rounds.
So, well, you
Okay.
could 5 foot
Yes.
step, move action to light the torch off of her, and then standard action to swing the torch into the swarm.
Yeah, because you can take a 5-foot step diagonal beside me and still hit the swarm.
I mean, I can, but why did you move?
To get next to...
To get in base-to-base
And I was
contact with
also in the swarm, so now I'm out of the swarm.
Well, I'm not gonna move into a swarm.
There's a space next to me that's not swarming.
Okay.
Not
I'm just saying
yet.
it's weird. It's fine.
Well, then why didn't you 5-foot step to that?
Yeah, I know. It's fine. Whatever.
Because I didn't realize her thing was still on fire when I took the 5-foot step, so I was
Oh.
going for Sudi because he was lighting the thing. I thought her attack was only 1 round.
Nope, it's as many rounds as levels I have.
I get a math. I get a 23 to hit the swarm.
A 23, you would rear back, plunging your torch into the swarm.
I
I could have lit yours as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You guys do know that there's a giant thing of oil in the square.
That's why I'm
you'll
trying
need
to light it.
Oh, I thought that was the square that she's swinging at.
Yeah.
She's
Oh,
face-to-face
okay.
contact with that square, so I thought she was lighting the torch off of her
Yeah.
and then using her torch to light the oil.
Okay.
Is that the plan?
Yes, that's
Very well.
what Onuris' plan was.
So you would plunge your torch into that. The oil would burst into flames. Rachel, if you roll me a d3 for your damage, you do 1 point of fire damage to the swarm.
Okay.
2.
2. The swarm bursts into flames. There's more screeching from the swarm as it flails around. It's the end of Onuris' turn, bringing us to Sagira.
I hate swarms, just for the record.
Me too. When we find this guy, we're gonna bring a swarm in a jar, and we're gonna release it on him.
To who?
To who?
The writer of this book. Hey, buddy, you like swarms? Then we run away.
Anyway,
Whose turn is it?
It's me. I get a 20 to hit the swarm.
a 20 will strike the scarab swarm as you plunge your weapon into it.
I do 5 points of fire damage.
5 points of fire.
And my fire
damage.
goes out.
Still searing the
extra
swarm.
oil?
Oh, wait! I
Yeah.
have 2 weapon fighting! I don't know how elemental assault works. It's just, it adds a d6 of element damage to melee attack for 1 round per level.
I would assume that means all your melee attacks are 1 round per level.
Yes! Then I swing again with my kukri.
I would think so.
Oh, would an 18 have hit, though?
An 18 hits.
Okay, cool. Then I'm gonna swing again with my kukri. I wish that these could be critical. This is like the second time I've rolled my crit range. 25.
Bravo.
Yep.
Wow, I do 6 more fire damage.
6 points of fire damage.
And now I'm at my... Oh, my fire's gone. I did my damage.
Did good damage too.
I'm out now. I'm useless. Sorry.
Nope, I'm done. Citra.
Squish.
Do you have more oil?
I do. I will grab one of my extra oils.
Very well. I believe it's stored in your pack.
You may want to move out of the swarm.
Oil
Okay,
to the
well, I
swarm.
assume the extra oil is in my pack, so I have 3 extra oils.
Very well. So yeah, it would be a full round action to retrieve that next vial of oil.
Okay.
Get out of that square.
I'm gonna 5-foot step out of the square while I dig in my bag for my extra oil.
Very well.
Get ready to sprinkle some more.
All right. Sudi.
Okay, so
Getting your torch lit.
Well, you're lit, aren't you?
You're lit now, so I
Yeah,
mean, there's
so-
no point in me trying to spark it off. So I could just
Lit?
what?
He said lit. I'm lit.
Dude, I'm so lit right now. So I'm gonna spark mine off of Onuris' torch, I guess. Take a 5-foot step back out of the swarm,
Very well. You could also plunge it into the burning beetles.
and then
Yeah, I was to say, there is a square of just burning beetles right now. Does
Well,
that burn on my turn or their turn?
It will burn again on yours turn because that's the initiative point that it was lit.
Okay.
It'll
Smack
burn
it.
out after this next turn, but you'll get to do another D3 points of
and
damage.
then I
this
guess
turn.
I'll
Smack
whack the swarms
Very well.
with stuff. Let's see here.
You plunge your torch into the swarm.
So Sudi goes into a whirlwind, spinning his torch as he just basically just tries to create a little whirlwind of fire in an inferno, and I'm guessing
He's
he
writing
just-
his name in the air.
he's
doing
doing
like a
an air
sparkle.
like he's doing like a ribbon dance type thing.
It's like one of those long exposure pictures where you
Yeah,
lay-
there you
Where's
go.
the photographer?
All right. Yep.
So that's gonna be a 22.
You managed to burn the swarm for 1 point of damage.
Bravo.
Dramatically.
1 point.
That will bring us to the swarm as
Oh,
it
they're
will.
not dead yet. Oh.
Yep. As it swarms over, it's actually going to ignore Sudi, and they're going to swarm over Sitra, Sagira, and Onuris as they come piling in, provoking attacks of opportunity from. I think Onuris is the only one that can do damage right now.
Yep, because my
I
fire's
get it's
gone.
21.
The 21 will strike the swarm though.
I
Use
do.
Cyric.
Yeah, he smacks it with his torch.
They pop and scream as they swarm over all of you. All right.
Does Sitra have used magic device?
Sagira takes 1 point of damage.
Yeah.
We need to buy
Sitra
you
takes 2 points of damage.
burning hands.
Onuris only takes 1 point of damage. I'll need a fortitude save from Onuris.
Why just me?
You're the only one who hasn't failed yet.
Get it 17.
17. All right.
Still holding strong.
We all have filth fever.
That'll bring us to Onuris, although the oil does burn on this round, so D3 points of damage of oil.
2.
2. Very well. Continues burning away at the creature.
What is that, like 16 points of damage?
Probably, yeah.
Onuris
to
gets an
20.
18 to hit to ignite the swarm some more.
An 18, you would plunge your torch back into the swarm.
So I do a point of damage because there's nothing
Yep.
to roll. I don't know why you keep looking at me expectantly.
Describe dramatically how you're ribbon dancing also.
That's not really Onuris' style.
That's not
He
Sudi's
is
style. is it,
carefully
Mike?
touching one at a time. With nothing on his just okay. This is fine.
He's having to mutter a prayer to the gods every time. Sorry about killing your sacred beetles. Sorry about killing your sacred beetles. Sorry about...
Maybe stop sending them.
Pharasma.
Do people eat these? I don't know.
Probably.
Yep.
We're cooking them up
Little
real
midday
nice.
snack.
Protein's protein.
I don't think they have cows here, so.
They have cows?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
cows.
Well, I would think they would more like oxen or something
I mean,
like
a
that.
half-orc has a cow head.
Oh, that's true.
Sagira.
Sagira moves all the way out of the swarm.
Very well. Sagira falls back. Every suli for herself.
So if I caught arrows on fire, would that do anything if they hit the swarm?
I mean, yeah, they would technically do the damage for
Alright, then she's gonna
Fire.
drop her kukri and kopesh and pull her bow. And reach out one of her arrows to light it off of Suli's torch.
No, there's
Suli's torch.
Sorry, Sudi.
Sudi, but there's nothing on your arrowheads aren't flammable.
But my arrows are. Can I not just shoot flaming arrows?
Not
Or
probably
feathers on
not
the
probably
end?
without burning the string and your bow if you just caught the entire arrow on fire. If you had like some oil or tar or something to dip it in.
I was gonna say they
I
wrap
probably don't.
they wrap the arrows in like some kind of a cloth. So
I have rations.
I don't think rations are
You just throw some
flammable.
rations down the hole and hope they go back
usually
away.
is a little flammable.
You probably catch it on
mean,
fire.
I don't know if you've ever been to a cookout or a
Well,
camp
I mean,
before, but
yeah.
people like
I
to.
put a marshmallow on the end of my arrow and I light it on.
Your trail rations are marshmallows.
There's
Where do you
just
get those?
s'mores. Only s'mores in my trail ration pack.
I would say I'm going to assume that your character. I know you have a scarf. Do you have like a cloak or anything like that?
I don't think so. We're second level. I have nothing. I have whatever comes in a ranger's kit minus torches because I got candle rods instead.
Then you have a hot weather outfit.
Yeah, I think that's what I wear.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, if you wanted to take off like your scarf or anything like that, wrap it around your blade, you could then light that on fire and swing it at them, just as an improvised torch. It's not gonna last very long, but it'll probably last for this fight.
Okay, I guess I'm doing that.
Very well.
So I'm actually not going to do any of the things I described, other than a 5-foot step out of the swarm.
So retcon that. So you're going to 5-foot step out, move
wrap my
action to
sword.
pull off your scarf, move action to wrap it around your weapon. You'll be able to light it off with the move action next turn.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Citra.
I'm going to finish pulling out my oil and frantically shake it into the square that Onuris has a...
Onto Onuris.
No.
You're hot.
Now I said it all!
Oil up the
Jeez.
golden boy.
He's already oily. He looks
golden.
like he's golden.
But you put the oil on him, like, like Mr. Universe competitions. They oil their muscles up or whatever.
Think of like the tall gold
He's
guy
doing
from,
that
like,
thing where he's dancing his pecs as he fights through.
You're now
No.
played by Terry Crews in gold paint.
I want to be played by Terry Crews.
Right? I do too.
I was
pretty
thinking
awesome.
he was Xerxes.
Sagira is now Terry Crews.
Okay then.
It's Terry Crews in a scarf.
Terry Crews is the best.
Yeah.
Terry Crews,
Okay,
if you
so-
want.
Anyway,
You
so
shake out the
I'm
oil.
basically frantically dumping
It's
my
the
oil
spot, right,
into
yes.
the
The
It's
one
the-
next
to
to
the
her.
diagonal. So behind me, diagonal from
They're still just
Onuris.
crowded here in front of this door, fighting their way through the swarm. Yeah, you have a move action remaining if you'd like to take it.
You can get out of the swarm.
Am I in the swarm?
Yeah,
Oh,
you're always
Well,
in the
I
swarm.
can't
Just
see.
assume.
So,
Yeah.
yes, 5-foot step out of the swarm.
You're dancing with the swarm.
You can use another move, or you can use your standard action as a move action to start retrieving another vial if you want to. But
Yeah, I'll do that just in case.
How many vials of oil did you buy?
3.
3? Okay.
I've used 1. I'm gonna have to go buy more.
You've also emptied your oil lantern, so if you plan on using that, you're going to need to use one to fill that up.
Yes. I know.
Well, it's daylight. Hopefully it'll be okay.
From Sitra, we go to Sudi.
Let's see. You just lift that up,
Wait. Oh, they moved.
but Onuris is closer to that to light it off. So I'm going to try to keep the bugs off of Onuris by kind of like outlining him in the fire, attacking the square that he's in.
To be fair, I think even hitting him with the torch on yours.
Yes,
doesn't kill it.
Onuris would turn to Sudi. You can just hit me with the torch. It's fine.
He smacks the bugs on your head, just starts hitting you with the torch.
Just starts
I like the
beating you
idea
with
that
the
he just kind of like gingerly just goes, just like thumps you just lightly.
Oh, you could also
Oh,
hit
it didn't
me.
work. And just like whaps you over and over and over again.
You could also hit Sagira with the
Very well.
torch and it would be okay.
Roll your bludgeoning damage against him.
What is my bludgeoning
It's a
damage? Would
hit
that be a
on yours
D4 or
first.
what?
You have to hit the swarm, though.
Okay.
Yes, you're hitting the swarm.
Oh yeah, that's right. I have an
Onuris
actual.
is just telling you, don't worry about accidentally hitting me with the fire. It's fine.
You could have covered him and lit him on fire. and he would have been fine.
21.
Oh, yeah,
21. 21 will strike the
Yep.
swarm.
1 whole point of fire damage.
Very well. As you plunge your torch into Onuris' face.
It's acid
Ooh.
that Onuris has to worry about.
Oh, that's sad for you. I have 5 everything. Well, element.
Except for Sonic.
Except for, well, yeah, that's not an element.
Nobody ever has Sonic.
It is an element according to Pathfinder.
Okay, Pathfinder, make up your own things, but Sonic is not an element.
Really?
No.
Yeah, really acid isn't.
Acid's what they use for Earth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Earth. Because you can't just be like, dirt power. That would be really
I don't know. Earthbenders
Have you seen the
are...
Planeteers? Come on.
You put sand in my eyes.
I was thinking earthbenders, but okay. Like
went
giant
Captain Planet,
stones
Yeah, but it's
like,
not the same
thrown
as
at somebody's
fire
face.
damage. It would just be bludgeoning.
Anyway,
All right, so
Hey,
from
zombies, that's what you
there
need.
we go to the swarms. The swarms will swarm over
Everybody?
actually everyone but Citra, provoking an attack of opportunity from
Everyone
Not
But-
Citra.
on
Citra.
everyone but Citra.
Onuris gets an 18.
that's right. That's Citra. Sudi
Oh,
gets
I
a
can't
19.
do anything.
18 and 19 will both strike your targets.
We each do a point of damage.
Sure.
Yay.
Continue to beat down the swarm very slowly. They swarm over all of you and start chewing. Don't think I don't see you, Heather. Looking
What?
over at my initiative tracker and hit point damage.
I need to know.
3 points of damage across the board.
I should have asked
Ow.
that.
To
How many hit points do these
Citra,
have?
Onuris, and Sudi. Oh, sorry,
Swarm.
Sagira, Onuris, and Sudi.
Oh, how many what?
3 points of damage. As they swarm over all of you, Onuris, I'll need a fortitude save. Also, it's your turn.
Onuris gets a 23 fortitude save.
Gonna fail that eventually.
Onuris only gets a 12 to hit the swarm.
A 12 will not hit the swarm. You fail to ignite the swarm. The oiled ones are now swarming over you.
Ah,
Don't
It's
worry,
okay.
Sudi's got your back. I'll light those for you.
it's fine.
You're
really.
immune to fire. Ish.
Sagira, you have wrapped your scarf around your blade.
My
Your,
short hair flowing in the wind.
What color's your hair? I think it's the first time anyone in the
It's
party.
like shoulder length, black, and like slightly curly. Yeah, I'm just gonna like shove my scimitar that's now wrapped in my really nice scarf
Kopesh.
into. Oh yeah, it is a Kopesh. We're not in.
That was the important part of the sentence.
into your torch. Or whatever. If there's beetles on fire next to you, whatever. And then I'm going to
move action, you've
swing.
lit up your
And
torch.
to light the ones that are covered in oil. Yeah.
Well, I've got to get it on fire first.
Yeah, so you have it on fire, and now you have a standard action to swing your weapon.
I'm going to... Well, first of all, I'm going to 5 foot step out of the swarm. And then I'm going to swing down at...
From there, you can't strike the ones that are on Onuris. Those are the ones that are oiled.
Yeah.
5 foot.
You have to go 5 foot step the other way.
Oh, I'll do the other way then. Yeah, sure.
There you go.
Very well.
They're still going to swarm me, which is what I was trying to avoid, but it's cool. Yeah, okay, then I'll see if I can light you on fire. That's like a 22. 22.
That'll do. So 1 point of damage from your makeshift torch, and Sitra, if you'll roll me that d3.
1.
Very well.
Maybe roll higher.
No, really?
Speaking of Sitra.
Next time.
Now the beetles around Onuris are all on fire, and he's like, whatever.
So you can use a move action to finish retrieving the oil from your pack.
Yeah.
You feasibly take a 5 foot step and just dump it all over Onuris.
Oh, jeez.
Well, you got one right in front of you. On yours could
I
left
think
To be
that
fair,
one.
he's on fire but not screaming. So.
I think I'll dump it on the square that he's not in. The one that's
He's-
directly behind me.
But someone else is going to have to light it at that point.
He can do it. He's got a torch.
I can also do it.
Sudi can do it. Somebody can do it.
Onuris can throw himself into that square. Just roll around.
Whatever. I shall dump the oil
Oh
into
my
the square
gosh.
behind me.
All right. So that is Citra's turn. Sudi.
I'm going to do something dramatic. I'm going to step out of the swarm.
That's not dramatic.
I'm going to get next to Onuris. I'm going to go over to that swarm that's currently a little damp. Ribbon dance.
Everyone that,
best
since we're
visual
not
ever.
like filming this, everybody's missing Jordan's little like interpretive arm
Oh,
wave.
I'm taking my arm and doing kind of like the wand, like the first
Swish and
year
flick?
Harry Potter swish and flick, like kind of thing.
He's actually
Leviosa.
casting Leviosa.
Exactly.
No, it's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
15.
He's levitating the
A 15 will not strike a target.
What?
Stop being so dramatic. Just hit the spider.
Sudi was doing really well with
Spiders.
being dramatic. He was paying off in spades up until this point.
It's because you just took too long to
Dang,
describe
15
it.
not hitting it though. That's
After Sudi, we go to the Scarab Beetle Swarm, which continues to screech as it burns. It still can't swarm over the entirety of the party, so it's just going to swarm over everyone that is not Sitra. Because, in their opinion, Citra's not actually doing anything to them.
They're moistening them. She's trying to put us out.
So, yeah. Thanks, buddy. We like you way more than that ranger over there. You would think the ranger. Anyway, that will provoke an attack of opportunity from Sagira, Sudi, and Onuris.
Oh yeah, I have fire now.
Onuris rolls a perfect 20.
I get a
Okay.
16.
He does something very dramatic with the torch.
I get a 26.
no dramatics.
Very well.
Apparently does not work. You do something practical.
So, Onuris and Sagira manage to connect. Sudi just screams and flails as bugs go swarming over him.
You gotta
Is it
get out of
working?
here, buddy.
Is it working?
Onuris is on fire. He just stands there dramatically.
Citra
Do you
looks
have like
on-
a cloak?
No. Not have
So
a
Do you have a
Citra-
skirt thing that hangs?
After being on fire for a round, not anymore.
I like to think that Sagira rips off your clothing that's on fire and just blankets them.
Onuris needs his clothes.
No, you don't. Blanket.
No, I veto that.
Actually,
'cause I need
what
my
I'm
clothes.
imagining is like you
I
were
already
like,
gave
this
up my
coat patch
head.
is not working, and so you just like grab your scarf and you do this whip motion around.
It was on my
That's what
weapon
I'm saying.
already.
It's like it
I'd
wasn't
have to
working.
unwrap it. It would take a long time.
Well,
The Scarab Beetles, seeing your superior use of fire, go
Fire!
flying off. Honestly, they just run past all of you and go back down their hole.
We shut those doors forever.
You've killed like 3/4 of them.
All right.
I'm, I don't know, like 7 down.
I have 9 hit points.
So do I.
We all look a little sick, except Onuris.
Yep.
And
You just look
yours
slightly
would-
burned.
Yeah, put the fire out.
Ooh, they eat dung and stuff. I know this. I made that roll.
I channel and everybody gets 3 back.
I'm
which
feeling slightly better.
is not. Everybody gets another 6 back. That puts me at full.
I'm down 4.
That puts me at full. Dang, son, you were hurt.
I got hit the hardest, yeah. Alright, I'll live.
Do you not have a potion?
I do have a potion, but I've been saving those for
Well,
a real...
drink your dang potion if you're that worried about it.
Jordan.
I'll bear it.
Well, it raises
you-
the valid concern of do you want to burn through all those channels when you know there may be further holes?
Yeah.
There's definitely undeads here. Look how many scarabs there were. I heard a rumor that those are only here because of undead.
Sagira seems the
Headphone
type
case.
that she probably believes in all the
It's on my back.
superstitious
Believes
like
everything.
farm people.
She believes everything and nothing. It's very weird. She believes it, but only until it's proven wrong.
Well, I don't know about all of you, but I'm really starting to hate bugs.
I never liked them in the first place, but I do believe that they will become one of my favorite enemies.
Well,
I hate them.
Well, we're not making charisma checks, so we're not going insane, and that's good.
All right.
What is this charisma you speak of?
Goodbye, fourth
is a
wall,
check?
goodbye.
All right. Hold on for a sec. While
Roll
I change
damage
this.
for the fourth wall, smacking Sudi in the face.
Oh, please don't.
You take 1 point of charisma damage.
Scarab Swarm, please.
You garner experience for defeating a challenge rating of 3, netting
Dang.
the party 200 XP.
We're not leveled up yet.
Oh.
Oh, we haven't even made it into the building yet.
We haven't even. There's a whole centipede situation over here on this side.
I think we should avoid
to
that.
think we should have just fought the centipede and dealt with it.
We would have come
You do
around
realize
over here
centipedes are
eventually.
worse than scarabs.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe in your opinion.
I could hit a centipede.
I could hint the centipede for sure.
Anyway, there's a little place.
Yeah, there is an open archway next to the room that you just finished. There are also 3 sets of doors leading inside of the building.
Let's look in the little room first.
Yeah.
Very well. Dusting yourselves off, the vultures would return, making their way back down and simply perching nearby. Now seemingly more interested in watching all of you and waiting for you to die.
I want to be friends with those vultures. Anyway, let's go in this little room.
I'm gonna, check all of my bites first and clean them up best I can.
You'd be able to do so if you have a water skin on you. You'd be able to at least wash out the wounds.
Oh, I do have that. I guess we should clean ours. If you're doing that, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess. Yeah. I
Yeah,
usually
maybe
don't get-
create water to get the oil and dead bugs off.
You just give everybody a shower.
Pretty much.
So a quick drenching of everyone from Onuris. You can all stand around for a couple of minutes and just sunbake out here until you're a little bit drier and then make your way.
Shall we see what horrors lie within?
Hopefully it's undead and not bugs.
I like that we're hoping for undead now.
Maybe we shouldn't jinx ourselves, because now it's going to be undead bugs.
I could still hurt those. Maybe.
Undead swarm.
Undead swarms of big things. Undead skeleton head swarm.
Again, the whole jinxing thing is what I'm worried about right now.
You're very superstitious.
Anyway, we go into the store. What's inside?
Hey, that
this
sounds like
little room?
something undead.
Turning and making your way over towards the door. A wide archway would stand here. A single step would lead up, making its way inside, although that provides this some protection from the sand, which is blown in elsewhere. It doesn't provide a complete protection, as the sand has managed to blow in from the door and kind of makes a splayed pattern across the stone floor within. Glancing about inside, you would find a not overly large room, some 15 feet at a side, you would say. There are numerous shelves built into the surrounding walls, set at various heights, as well as what seem to be the remnants and remains of what were probably once sacks and barrels, although these have collapsed again over time, simply leaving the iron rings that once held the barrels together. Any of those of you who wish may make me a, let's go, knowledge engineering or a profession cook or innkeeper or something like that.
I have none of these things.
Engineering, I get a 6.
6. Actually would also allow a knowledge nobility.
Okay, I have that.
Don't have that.
On yours, gets an 18 on the nobility.
On yours, you would notice that this does seem familiar to you, considering your own background, although something not necessarily anyone else in the party is aware of. But it is common for the nobility in any country, and Osirian still, to not really wish to see the servants or the servants' everyday tasks. This is probably a pantry. There's a single door that exits from here and into the main building.
This was most likely the pantry. That door probably leads into the kitchens in the main house.
Okay, we can start in the kitchen.
That seems as easy a way in as anywhere else.
We should search here to make sure there's nothing useful.
Make a perception roll to search the room if you so wish.
15.
26.
Citra gets a 21.
Sudi and Sitra could both take a look around and tell there are a number of empty carapaces, as in something seems to have probably been eating the scarab beetles. Glancing about, though, whatever it isn't here now.
Okay, well, that's not useful. Into the house. Yeah?
Yep.
We should probably close doors behind us as we go.
This
There
is
is
just
no
an
door
arch.
here.
I was more talking about the door we were previously.
Oh, we definitely shut those scarab beetles.
Oh,
inside
yeah,
the little
for sure.
house.
We're not letting a surprise, scarab resurgence come
Can
to
we
us.
have left a message just like scarab beetles don't open?
Dead inside, don't open.
Yes, but scarab beetles instead.
Opening the door, you would have to push to get this door to slide open.
Oh, they probably have it barricaded.
You're not entirely positive this or it's just settled in over the millennia at this point that this is set unoccupied. The stone door would slide enough for you to be able to actually glance inside before stepping into the room in its full.
Okay.
The chamber beyond is fairly large, some 20 feet at a side, although it's somewhat difficult to tell as 2 large stone tables would sit against the walls of this room on the far side, and a third one immediately off towards your left-hand side. A small square wooden butcher's block would stand in the corner of this room, now almost collapsing under its own weight with the passage of time. A stone oven, though, sits in the middle of the far wall. A humanoid skeleton would lie beneath the table on the far side of this room, surrounded by smashed pots and other debris. A single open doorway leads out of the far side of this room, or the left-hand side of this room.
How dark is it in here? Are we going to need light sources?
This room is dark. There's some light filtering in, although it's all dim illumination here right now as the light's filtering in through the open doorway that you just pushed open. And you can tell that there's light coming from somewhere, a steady flow of natural light coming from somewhere towards the center of the structure, although you can't tell specifically where.
Onuris is going to go ahead and cast a light spell on Sagira, just in case we need it later on.
Sudi would have kept his torch, so we still have a torch.
Let's go to once over.
Onuris will approach the skeleton and say some prayers over it while
there's a
everyone else
skeleton?
is
My weapon
searching
is
the
out.
room. I mean, I'm assuming we all have our weapons at the ready, but Onuris is going to go say some prayers for the skeleton.
It stabs you with a knife.
Glancing over the skeleton, you would note that this skeleton, the clothing seems to have disintegrated entirely with the passage of time. Still wrapped around him is what appears to be the remains of some sort of leather jerkin. This probably wasn't a servant. This looks like armor. Or it was at one point. This seems to hold in place an almost utterly rusted and unusable hilt and blade of a dagger, which was plunged and then left in his back.
Great.
Say prayers to the old gods and Pharasma.
Sagira pokes him with her.
Oh yeah, Sudi's got the whole Pharasma thing, so yeah. Prayers.
Just to make sure.
He's not getting up. He would have animated when I knelt down next to him. There's no need to poke his bones.
Yes, defiling the
Say
dead is
so.
not what we're here for.
Not defiling. I poked him. I didn't slash him.
Citra rolls her eyes at the scene and continues to search the room.
Well, you may make a perception check to search the room if you so wish.
Citra gets a 23.
So, searching through the room, while Onuris kind of lays out the skeleton, Sagira stands nearby and eyes it suspiciously. And Sudi, are you...
Oh, I'm just watching this big old open doorway that we have here on the other side.
All right. With your torch in hand.
Yes.
You don't find anything of any value in this chamber. Honestly, it just looks like someone came through and smashed. Anything that was wooden has decayed away to pretty much nothingness, but the stone tables still remain.
Well,
All right, then. Once Onuris would finish his prayers, he would stand up and, I guess, wait for Sagira to make her way into the next room. She
yep,
usually
into the
takes
next
point.
room.
Stepping free of the double doors, I suppose Sagira taking point.
Yep.
Sudi, actually, no, I think Sitra usually walks alongside of you to check for
Look
traps.
for
Yeah.
traps.
You would step out into a hallway. The walls here would be covered with faded but still vaguely discernible designs. A repeating pattern, red diamond seems to be a reoccurring repeating pattern, although exactly what that's used for, you're not entirely positive.
That's their whole decor style. I don't know.
Yes. Looking off towards your left, you would see a set of double doors, which you know would lead to the courtyard outside that you just came from. Directly across from you, you can see another open archway that leads further. Although you can't determine exactly what's inside of there, it looks like it may be... There look to be hieroglyphs in that room, although it's only a single 4-foot wide doorway which leads into the chamber.
Okay.
The hallway you're in, though, continues off towards your right, making its way a short distance before heading into a fairly spacious room with a large table.
I guess I would glance back at Onuris and say, there's some more hieroglyphs that way, or we can go this way.
I mean, I would like to investigate the hieroglyphs, but I'm assuming we're going to search the whole floor eventually.
It's true. I mean, it's more, do we want to do the outside and then the middle, or do we want to...
I don't like the idea of anything sneaking up behind me, so I would rather get the outside than first.
We can do a perimeter check before moving further into the building.
Okay. Then I'm going to head toward the hieroglyphs room.
Very well, striding your way forward.
Carefully. Making sure there's no tripwires or anything. I don't know.
Stepping through this archway here, is Sitra checking the archways, or are you just waiting until you find doors and things like that to search for traps?
I am checking the archways just to be safe.
Okay. You can roll a perception roll then.
Citra only gets a 9.
It looks perfectly
Sitra
safe.
thinks it's great.
It is perfectly safe.
No.
Go right ahead, Sagira.
Sagira side-eyes you and steps forward. If I die, my ghost is haunting you.
As you step under the archway leading into the room, you would enter into another room. The room beyond is not exceptionally large, still about 15 feet at a side. A door exits out of this room opposite of the one that you just came in, and a third door, counting the one that you've come through, exits off towards your right-hand side in the center of that wall. The left-hand wall, you know, should be the same as the outside wall leading out to the courtyard. Light would stream in from the door off towards your right-hand side. As you can see, natural light just filtering in from that direction. A fair amount of sand scatters across the floor, although from where and what, you're not entirely positive. Looking about the room other than that, though, you do see that the hieroglyphs and images of fantastic beings cover the walls of this small room. A small stone shrine, dusty and thoroughly defaced, would stand against the wall off towards your left-hand side.
That's a shrine to who?
You may make an knowledge religion.
I get a 12.
A 12. Glancing it over, you would note that this shrine actually contained 3 separate altars dedicated to the gods Abadar, Pharasma, and Serenre.
And it's been like
Strange.
messed up.
Yeah, it looks like this entire place was defaced.
Well, the plague made people go mad.
Sagira's gonna walk over and like set the things back up. I imagine, I don't know, maybe there's statuettes knocked over. She sets them so that they're back up.
They've been badly damaged. What are the rest of you doing in the meantime?
Onuris is going to help dust off the shrine and everything. You said it was Abadar, Pharasma, and who?
Serenre.
Serenre.
I'll watch the rear and watch the archway behind us.
Yeah.
I'll be searching the rest of the room.
Onuris will set the shrines, help Sagira set the shrines back to the way they should be, and
Onuris and Sagira can get along.
and offer prayers to these gods, and, please don't smite us.
Well, we didn't do this. See, Pharasma, we're helping you out with this one shrine in somebody's house.
What do the hieroglyphs and stuff say?
It just seems odd that it would be these 3.
Well, like death and redemption and
Capitalism.
This seems very noble. The redemption's kind of weird, but that whole Kadira thing, I don't know.
I just thinking I would have thought it would have been the old
Well, this
gods.
would have been before Kadira had invaded Osirian.
Well, maybe they were.
No, it would have been after.
The 2,000 years ago was after?
Yes.
Oh, I thought that was a way more recent thing.
Well, in the grand scheme of Osirian's 8,000-year history, yes, this was the Kellish were still occupying Osirian during this time period.
So they probably had to have one to Serenre.
When the
Regardless,
city was founded, it was still founded during the Second Age of Osirian.
Regardless, we're just cleaning up a shrine.
So Sagira's setting those back up. Sudi is watching.
Watching the hallway behind us.
Very well. Citra said,
I am searching the rest of the room.
very well. And
Onuris is helping
Reading
fix
the- and reading the
shrines
hieroglyphs?
reading
Well.
the hieroglyphs.
I will allow Sagira to make me a, let's say, perception or just a knowledge nature, either one.
They are the same. A 7. I rolled a nat 1.
Yeah, these seems to have just been badly defaced and rather messed up.
Sad.
Sudi, watching the surrounding halls, go ahead and roll me a perception roll.
Okay. Get a 20.
20. For a moment, distantly, you think you hear the sound of maybe wings, as if perhaps there's some sort of small bird or raven or something that's gotten inside of this house and is just stuck somewhere. It's not persistent. It's more that you would hear the flapping for a couple of moments and then it seems to settle. You can't tell exactly where it's coming from. Onuris looking over the hieroglyphs in this room. The ancient Osiri hieroglyphs on the walls offer praises to the 3 gods. They list several common prayers to each. The shrines mostly seem to be dedicated to Abadar for fortune for the family, Pharasma for guardianship of the family after death, and Serenre for good weather and sun for the farms and servants under their command.
So the basics.
Yeah.
All right, well, clean up the shrine as best we can.
Are these figures worth anything?
Not destroyed such as they are. They're simple stone figurines.
Cool.
Citra glancing over the room. There's no sign of any tracks or anything else that you can see in here. No sign of... You can only guess. Sagira assumed that this place was probably smashed and disturbed millennia ago.
All right. I guess we're going to continue around the perimeter.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll go basically Wienered in one side. We go out the opposite side.
As Citra walks by, though, she's going to leave a gold piece on the shrine. She didn't help put it together. But
I was
she can
going to
make
say,
it.
I mean, Sudi would have to say a quick prayer to Pharasma also.
Yeah, but do what we can to repair it as quickly and, what we can, and then move on.
Reconstructing the sign, as you walk by the door that exits off towards your right-hand side, you can tell that one, the one that the light's coming from, leads into a central courtyard. This inner courtyard seems to have a tiled walkway which is around a square patch of earth and sand. More sand seems to have probably accumulated simply from the occasional sandstorm that rains down into this house because it is open on a balcony to the second floor and then to a skylight in the roof. At one point or another, you can only imagine, like most of the noble estates, at the very least, Onuris would be able to tell the party that they would usually have shutters that could be drawn across the top of the skylight.
To stop the rain and...
Well, the rare rain and more
sandstorms.
the sandstorms.
Did you grow up in a place like this or something?
Yes.
How did you end up as a priest?
It was a choice, like any other.
So where did you, like a big house like this, or was it smaller?
Bigger.
Grew up in a bigger house?
Did you grow up in this town?
Yes.
Do I know of any fancy people in this town?
You may make me a local or knowledge nobility.
Are your relatives gold-skinned too?
No, I'm the only
I get
aasimar in the family.
21 local.
With your 21 local, you would know that there are actually only 2 big noble families located in the city. There are the Akinti, which are kind of like the new blood nobles. Then there are the Mafre, which are like the oldest noble family in the city.
That sounds more like...
Are you a Mafre?
I was once.
But no longer?
I left.
Is it because you were gold?
No. It's
Were
not-
you exiled?
No, I left of my own free will. I don't see how this concerns anything that we're doing.
You're our friend now. We will know all of your secrets.
That's disturbing.
I follow Aditi but love secrets.
Okay, so from your experience of growing up in a house like this, what can we expect next?
This is a fun game.
This is a fun game. What do I know? What should we find in this house?
We have a shrine room and a courtyard. What's next?
I mean, the upstairs is going to have the bedrooms and things like that. Downstairs somewhere, there's going to be a kitchen. That's probably what was down the hallway we didn't go through.
You guys just came through the kitchen.
We came into
Well, I
we
meant the
just-
dining room. The dining
dining
room should
room,
be
yeah.
down from the kitchen, probably
Okay.
close. There'll probably be a study, something like that. Maybe probably upstairs. Depends on how large the family was, how many bedrooms they needed. And there's going to be a bathhouse somewhere.
Oh,
Wait,
wasn't
in
that?
the house?
Usually, yes.
Oh, I thought that was what we saw outside.
No, that would have just been probably a pool to sit by when there's nice weather.
All of the commenters here are staring with wide eyes.
But
I mean, I
it's
come
all
from middle
that-
class, but they
It's the idea of all that water just sitting there.
interesting.
You mean everybody got their own room?
Of course.
Oh, well, that's normal. People get their own room. That's a thing.
In rich people's houses, maybe.
I was gonna say, I never had my own room. I always shared with my brother.
I don't think you have to be that rich to have your own room. I had my own room.
This quickly devolved into Siriani politics and economics. Yeah,
Anyway.
we continue on because...
I guess we'll keep walking because now we're all thinking about our growing up situations
Yes.
and the amount of rooms
And we're
we
distracted
had.
from the thing that's creeping up behind us.
Considering your family's backgrounds and everything else as you press on, you would step through into the next room. A door would have once separated this room from the chapel area. The chamber beyond is not very large. Immediately upon stepping in, I'm going to say almost all of you, except for, I think, Sudi and Sitra have established that they grew up really poor. The other 2 of you, Sagira and Onuris, would be able to recognize this as a privy, as they have an indoor privy and don't have to go to an outhouse outside somewhere or just dump it after using a chamber pot.
I grew up poor. I didn't stay poor.
I don't
Speak,
had
for,
a
your-
bathroom.
speak for yourself. I'm still poor.
Well, you chose to be a priest.
So you just use a litter box.
The world is your litter box.
That's why I'm in Osirian. There's so much litter.
Non-clumping, though.
A stone privy is... You have to give dung to the beetles. Come on.
Oh, man.
A stone privy is built into the wall of this tiny room, and a large stone table with a basin stands against the other wall. A mirror once hung above the table, but it seems like it's been shattered probably centuries ago. The floor is covered in broken glass and dead scarab beetles. A headless corpse sits upright on one of the privies.
Jesus. Somebody got this. This is the guy
His
from
pants
Jurassic
pulled
Park.
down and around his ankles as he would sit there as if interrupted in mid-business.
That's really uncool. Sagira, I look at Onuris and I say, should we put his head back on?
Is his head anywhere
There's no
nearby?
head in
No,
here.
it's the head is
Oh.
gone.
And
Is he a
there's-
skeleton when you say corpse?
No.
Or is he meat? He's fleshy?
Is
Relatively.
that weird?
Not to mention, there's more scarabs in here.
Is it weird that he's not a full skeleton?
Yes.
Given the scarabs that we've seen,
I walk over and I
probably.
poke him with my Khopesh.
Jeez.
I don't stab him, I just poke him. gently to see if he comes alive
He
and tries
doesn't
to eat
move.
me.
I'm going to step forward and gently push Sagira out of the way and make a heal check on this poor
I
man.
just
You
assume
may make a
that
heal
I'm
check.
gonna have to murder. Oh,
Onuris gets a 22 on his heal check.
With a 22, considering that it wasn't directly exposed to the elements, it is somewhat kept in here. It looks like some insects have come in here, but there's not nearly as many insects in here as you would expect. Perhaps just the necromantic energies of this place. He's not fresh, but you would honestly think that this body is probably only maybe 3 years old.
oh, somebody else broke in here.
Interestingly
Got his
enough,
head
this
chopped off.
this man is wearing a simple jerkin as well as not currently wearing his pants, but with pants and a simple pair of shoes. He's carrying no weapons. He's carrying no items to carry things off with. He's carrying no gear or equipment to break into a place, no rope to escape from this.
What kind of
Just clothing.
What kind of quality is the clothing?
You would consider it to be maybe a craftsman at best.
Maybe he was here. Maybe this was his old family house from like ancestors. And then I would grab your elbow and say, "But what if there are scarab beetles in the trough in the toilet situation? We should leave immediately."
I'm going to say prayers for this poor man.
Should we leave him on the toilet?
He might be the only reason the scarab beetles haven't attacked us yet.
Is there a lid?
They're under him.
No, I mean, is there a lid? We could move him and then put the lid
There are no lids in this whole structure.
Onuris
think he is the
ignores
lid.
this entire conversation and
I'm
lays
paranoid.
this poor man out on the ground and says
You-
prayers for him.
You may make a perception roll. Sagira seems very concerned, so she may make a perception roll as well.
Oh my god. Onuris gets
Oh no. I got a
Onuris
7.
gets a 19 on his perception
I got a
check.
7.
With a 7, yeah. Sagira would begin kind of like spinning around, waiting for the swarms to come. Nothing comes flying out of there. Onuris giving a side glance down into the privy and with your dark vision as well.
see all of it.
It's just dried. He obviously hadn't used this. There
Somebody
would have
sat
still
him
been
here.
something.
Somebody took his
I
head and
think
his gear.
Someone put him here.
Somebody took his head and his gear and put
But
him here.
why set him up like he's going to the bathroom?
'Cause
That's-
Holes.
It could be intimidation.
Or they could think it was funny.
You make it seem like this place is so dangerous that you can't even go to the bathroom here.
Sand golems. No, sand goblins, not golems. That's weird. Please, dear God.
I'm pretty sure that's the thing.
I think we should exit the bathroom.
I am on board with this plan.
So all of you would turn, laying out the body,
I
eyeing
say
the
some
headless
prayers.
corpse curiously. Distantly, Sudi and only Sudi would hear that flapping again.
Oh.
As you would all turn and continue to make your way, and we will pick it up here next time, Pathfinders. Thank you again for listening.